Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday. Already I'm getting a little bit of an echo going on. And yeah, we're back in the studio room, as you can see. And I thought I had everything organised. Actually, I have got everything organised. But the only thing that I wasn't counting on was an update that has happened to my computer. And the reason why we've started a little bit late tonight is because earlier, about, I'd say 3 hours ago, I set everything up and I made sure everything was running fine. And by the way, if you can hear, I've still got a bit of a throat thing, cold thing that's going on. So if I'm clearing my throat, like that, that'll be why. So I'm still waiting to get through this cold thing that's happening. And that's why I didn't live stream on Saturday night. So I thought because I could get back in this room, I'd do a live stream tonight. And yeah, a few hours ago, I set everything up and I tested the guitar and just got a backing track on YouTube. And I was having the same issue that we had, months ago, where the audio going into the interface is happening in front of the backing track. So it means that everything that I'm playing is coming in too early, so it all sounds out of time. So I thought, well, we'll just go with the same setup and use the laptop as I've got here and plug it in, and it's all fine. Everything was working great. So then I thought, right, that's done. I'll go and have some dinner and then come back for the live stream a little bit later on. And in order to try to get this backing track and guitar interface, everything synced up, I thought, well, it always says about making sure that the drivers are up to date and that your software is up to date and all of these things. And the only way that this is going to rectify itself is with an update, because that's what made it go wrong in the first place. So I thought, right, well, I'll apply not the most recent update, but just one further on than what I was using already, because I didn't want to totally ruin anything. And those are some famous last words. I didn't want to ruin anything, but the next update has now broken my Scarlett interface, my interface that I use for you guys to hear the guitar. That now doesn't work at all. It's not recognized by my Mac Studio. And about half an hour ago, I was frantically searching online to try and see if Scarlett or Focusrite, who make the interface that I'm using, whether they've released an update that now will make it work with the update from Apple. And I then found, lo and behold, that loads of other people are having the same issue. They update and suddenly on their Mac, their interface is not working. So I'm not really sure what tonight there's going to be no fill jam. I won't be able to do any guitar or anything unless, I might be able to grab the acoustic behind me, but not to play along to any backing tracks, because you'll hear the backing track really loud and you won't be able to hear my guitar. So and it's not as if Joe has sent me an acoustic backing track. He's just sent me whatever it is, and he did actually ask me earlier, or I can't remember when the message was sent, but he asked me whether I'd be back in this room or whether I'd be in the other room just with the laptop again, and I did say I'll be back in this room. So I think he sent me something that is more relevant for here and electric guitars, but it's not going to be the case tonight. So we're just going to have to wing it with tonight's live stream and see what happens. So there's going to be no guitar. And I can see that the audio is going through the microphone. And by the way, this is going through my ID4 interface. So this is different, this microphone. And yeah, the irony is not missed on me that over the last few live streams that I've been doing in the other room, just going through my laptop, that has all worked. Even though I was just using my laptop and had a really simple setup. Now, the problem was that everything that I had for my laptop, and I was so close, probably within a minute or two of just going through my laptop and the camera on the laptop, just to say that not only is the audio not working, but this camera wasn't working either. So the Apple update broke the camera and the audio interface, but luckily the camera's now working again after kind of recycling things and turning it off, turning it on, taking the USB out, putting the USB back in, and doing things that aren't necessarily that technical, but then it just happened to start working again. So this camera's working, but yeah, as for everything else, we don't really know, but we can get at least the names of my patrons up on screen. So a big thank you to these people at the bottom of the screen. They make everything that I do possible on the live streams, just on the channel in general, and yeah, everything that I do that is possible due to things working when they should. But yeah, it's just crazy that over the last few live streams I've had such a simplified setup because of organizing everything in here, and I just didn't bank on an update just breaking everything at the same time. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens for maybe Saturday's live stream. I'm just thinking whether I mean, the problem with the setup and with the guitar going through the laptop is I was using a really small, like Pod XT effects unit, which is only kind of like this size, and I couldn't really do much with that apart from just have one tone, and that's what I was using on the fill jams. And if I were to do that same setup here, I could theoretically use that to go through the ID4, but then how would I hear the backing track? Yeah, I would have to have the backing track coming out the laptop while I go through that. So I'd have to have like the same setup that I had for the streams in the other room with the laptop. But it's all a bit annoying that now I'm back to the full system and now the full system isn't working. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But right, let's get on with tonight's live stream. There'll be no likes goal because we can't have a fill jam. So yeah, you can just hit that thumbs up if you want to. It'll be very much appreciated because it does help the live streams to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. But yeah, a bit of a shame that we can't do anything tonight guitar wise. And the annoying thing is, I know now that I'm going to be spending all of this week trying to figure out this problem, because that's what always happens, that it's not just a quick fix. That the quick fix would be you just download a driver that's been specifically designed for an update so that the problem doesn't come around. But I've downloaded the latest driver, installed that, and it's still not recognized the interface. So it's just going to be troubleshooting, which is my most non-favorite thing to do, because you just sit in front of the computer just trying things and just trying to get something that has worked historically for years to now work again because it suddenly stops. So yeah, a bit annoying. But yeah, we'll have to kind of see how we get on with the live stream. And we started tonight with Art Not Commerce, so thank you guys for requesting that over on Patreon. And let's have a look into that live chat room, because I haven't given you guys a shout out yet. In there we have Pam K36, Mike D, Susan there, Ro, Angela, Melody Rocks, Pamela, Mo, Julie, Gabe, Mimi 3212, and Ninja Kitty's in there as well. So hello to you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight on this live stream where we are very much shooting from the hip, and we're going to see what happens. The other thing to mention, of course, is that I'm going to be with Taj Farrant on Sunday. So that's at the Garage in London, and you can get tickets for that particular show at tajfarrant.com/shows. So I might see you there, because that's where I will be on Sunday night, and I will be live streaming on Saturday night. Again, I'm going to have to now spend time sorting all of this stuff out, but as for what's going to be happening on Sunday night, I think it's going to be interesting because we haven't organised anything yet. We just said that we'd, have a jam together on stage and see what happens. So we definitely will see what happens. But yeah, if you get a chance to catch Taj's show on Sunday with myself, then yeah, it'd be great to see you there. Right. I always get up on screen as well, the donations tab, to let you know that you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But yeah, you don't have to donate. Now, as for what's going on with tonight's vote for the cover video, and it looks like, Parisian Walkways has 50% of the vote, and the other song is Just Got Lucky. When that was requested over on Patreon, I thought it was just apt, considering what I was going through, that we had Just Got Lucky, because certainly things haven't been lucky setting up the live stream tonight. So yeah, whichever one of those you want to listen to, my version of that particular song, whatever it is. And I can see Cooper Rishley or something says, is this pre-recorded? Well, if it is, what I'm doing now is very clever in order to talk to everybody in... they said, who is he talking to? I'm talking to the people watching the live stream. So you might have to check your clocks, but if you're watching this live, the time wherever you are will be something 29 and 56 seconds if you're following time accurately. And there we go. So it's 11:30 here in the UK. And yes, indeed, we are live. But yeah, working with a lot of issues, which means that we can't do things as we normally do on the live streams, which is a bit of a pain. But Gabe says this comment was pre-typed. So yeah, we are indeed live. I don't know how long tonight's live stream is going to go on for. It's already, well, I was going to say it's already half an hour, but we did start very late. And I think that the problem with this cold thing that I've got going, normally it's okay, but I think when I start talking for a long time, then I start to notice, oh yeah, actually I've still got, a bit of a kind of bunged up feeling, and yeah, a bit of a kind of, the sore throat isn't too bad, but yeah, I suppose if I were to be doing some singing now, I'd get a much more nasal sound to my normal voice, because everything being a little bit blocked up. So anyway, Ruth says that, I think that proves it's live. Haha. Yes, we are live. It is indeed Tuesday night, depending on where you are in the world, but it should be Tuesday night where you are, unless you're in like Australia, where it'll be in the morning time somewhere. So yeah, we will probably jump into the cover video relatively soon, because with not being able to demonstrate things on the guitar, I can see that there has been a donation from Monica for $10, so thank you for that. And Monica says, what is the concept of thrills with string skipping and without? So thank you for that. And I'm not entirely sure what you mean with thrills, unless you were typing trills and you hit an H by accident. So yeah, without kind of the guitar to hand, or having kind of set up. The thing is, the acoustic I would have to play here and try and get it close to the microphone so you can hear it at least relatively clearly. But yeah, when you're playing with string skipping or playing trills, if that's what you're asking, that's probably something more relevant to electric guitar, hammer-ons, pull-offs, and string skipping is going to be something that, yeah, it's going to be better if I'm plugged in so that you can hear what I'm doing clearly. But yeah, maybe we'll have a go at it, yeah, a little bit later on, or relatively soon, considering how long we go on for here. And I'm starting to think that maybe talking for a long time could be a bad idea. I just wanted to get back in this room to do a live stream, thinking that I'd set everything up and that it was all finished and it's all fine. And yeah, maybe with the cold, I thought, well, because I haven't been talking at length for any time recently, so yeah, when I'm starting to talk a little bit more, yeah, this is where the problem happens. So I can see Tortoro Porco says trilling. Isn't that what cats do? So, trilling. I don't know. I don't know about cats or dogs. So I know that Tortoro Porco wasn't actually asking me that particular question. Right. There have been other donations over on PayPal. So thank you guys for these. And we have Ian who donated £1. So thank you for that, Ian. That's a straight up donation. And then Elrod who donated £6. Thank you for that, Elrod. And that's another straight up donation. And there was another donation from Karen for £7.07. So thank you for that. And the message is, greetings from beautiful California, Phil. I just saw that Miss Swift is getting trademark protection on her voice/image. But for those like her who don't perform live, how does that work at concerts, etc.? So I think with this is, I assume, is to do with AI and AI copying people's voices and doing, different versions of particular songs in a style, and maybe taking Taylor Swift's voice and, putting it into a random song, or maybe getting her to sing another band's song, or like a heavier genre, all these different things that people are doing with AI. And the voice, that will be to do with AI. An image, you can do that with AI as well. You could probably create a video of Taylor Swift performing a particular song that she hasn't performed, and it isn't actually her doing it, it's all AI. And when you're relating that to live performances, if people go to a show and they've paid for tickets, they will see you live. And with the trademark protection of her voice and image, or anyone's voice or image, I think it's really just to cover from that AI standpoint, that somebody can't make a video of you saying something that you haven't said, or just making a video of you using your likeness, because they don't own that. And everybody should own their appearance and their image. And it's getting very difficult with AI, because it's been trained on everything on the internet, including images and videos of celebrities. So now you could get that celebrity's image and make them say something or do something that they haven't said or done. That's where the problem starts to come in, and that's what this is all geared towards. So I think for people that I'm just going to read this again, but for those like her who don't perform live, how does that work at concerts, etc.? So I don't think it's something that's really applicable for concerts. This is just for people making videos online that aren't you, and like I said, doing something or singing something, saying something that you haven't in the past. So for people wanting to trademark their voice or image, I think it's something that's going to be starting to happen more regularly, to make sure that people can't just make videos of you without your permission. And it's not even that, because normally, say for example, somebody wanted to make a video of me, you might think that they would take some video from a live stream or an analysis video or something else that I've done, one of the cover videos or one of my music videos, but you don't need any of that, because AI would be trained on all of that stuff. Now it gets down to the original problem that I have with AI in its kind of conception, is how it was trained on everything, regardless of whether it had the permission of the person, the songwriter, the image of the person that they didn't have permission to take and train their AI on. It means that everything now can be created because they trained it on everything without anyone's permission, which, as I've said many times, I think should have been highly illegal, but there's no laws in place to cover AI when it was all being developed. So now it's kind of trying to catch up to AI to bring out laws that means that people's rights aren't kind of what's the word that I'm looking for? Is there they're breached, something like that. So yeah, everyone, I think, has the right to question and demand that their image and everything about them as a person can't be copied, can't be trained, or you can't train a model on somebody who's not given any permission to do that in the first place. But this is why you see so many AI videos that are, you know, of movies that haven't been made yet, and the likeness of the actors is absolutely almost 100% there. And there are some people that can't tell the difference, that they might see a particular scene from a movie and they'll say, oh, I didn't know that this actor was in that movie, but they weren't. It's AI. And the only reason that AI knows how to create that actor's face is because it's been trained on all of that actor's material and films that they've been in without their permission. And that's how it's worked with music as well. It's been trained on all of the music ever without everyone's permission, so, and copyright holders' permission as well. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And I mean, the thing is, the whole copyright image with AI is probably something that I'll maybe look into in the future as well, because who knows what people might, you know, do in the future. I think if they do anything with me in it, then they've got too much time on their hands, but it might be possible. I have actually had that in the past where AI things that have popped up that weren't me, but thankfully, I mean, there was one AI picture, but it was just done, you know, as a bit of fun for, you know, me talking to an alien or something like that. But the likeness was really close. So it might be the case that everything on YouTube and pictures of me on the internet has already been used to train an AI model, and that's what might have been used for that particular picture. But yeah, I think there's kind of the innocent use of it, and then other people that are going to abuse the use of AI, and that's where things get a little bit more complicated and a lot more serious. So thank you, Lynn, as well, for this £75 donation on PayPal. And the message is, thanks for everything, Phil. Lynn, as I thank you for that. And Nicholas has donated £2 as well. So thank you for that, Nicholas. And the message is, did you see the video from the Commoners that went viral on Instagram and YouTube, where a guitar cut out live on stage during a gig? Great recovery and presence of mind from the singer. So thank you for that. And no, I haven't seen that, and I'll have to check my emails to see if anyone sent that to me recently, but not that I've seen. So thank you for that. And Karen's donated £3.54. And the message is, hi Phil, sorry you're going through these update issues and a cold. I'm just wondering if it's a good idea to keep clearing your throat, because I've heard that it can make it worse. Hope things get sorted out. Take care, Karen. So thank you for that. And I think generally, if you're clearing your throat carefully, like not with excessive force, then it should be all right, because sometimes it does stop you from being able to talk, which would be a bit of an issue during a live stream. But if you just do it relatively carefully, if you're doing it all the time quite aggressively, then you're probably going to make your voice worse or your sore throat worse. But I think it's just something that you have to gauge yourself and make sure that you are kind of going easy with it. So yes, thank you for that. And now there was something else that I was going to mention, but I can't remember what it was. And it might have been something to do with maybe singing with a cold, along those kinds of lines. Now this is the other thing that, thankfully there's, not being signed to a record label and having to go through all of that kind of stuff. It is a huge advantage when you do have a cold, or if you are ill, and you're not having to do shows, or especially excessive amount of shows. I mean, sometimes it does happen, and Taj and I spoke about that in my interview with him, where sometimes he has a bit of a cold, or if he's ill, then he'll change the set and change the songs that he's playing on a particular night so that it's less vocal focused and more guitar focused. And that's the beauty of being an independent artist and being able to make your own choices. You can then think, right, I'm not going to do that song because my voice isn't going to be up to that tonight, and you can start to make changes. But when you've signed a contract with a label, then they decide what you're doing and where you're going, how long you're playing for, and potentially what songs you're going to be playing. And that kind of thing will potentially ruin your voice if you are forcing singing, and especially if you're singing songs that are quite heavy on the vocal cords. If you're having to belt in chest voice, that's not something that you want to be doing when you're under the weather. And it's probably best just to take it easy and recover as much as you can, because damaging your vocal cords isn't something that you want to be doing, because that damage might last a lifetime. Right. Darth has donated £2, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, do you listen to fan covers of music artists? So thank you for that. Not really. I only really check out the videos and performances that I've been asked to look at. And, with the recent video on Mike Farris, which is someone that I hadn't heard of before, and a performance that I hadn't seen before. And I know that somebody said in the comment section, oh, I can't believe, how could you not have ever heard of this person? Almost like saying, where have you been, under a rock or something like that. But I think a lot of people forget that, first of all, I'm in the UK, so we don't get a lot of US artists, especially artists that aren't in, for me personally, in the kind of hard rock space or the heavier genres, the kind of music that I'm into. Even in mainstream music, having a performance by Mike, for example, on our radio shows here isn't something that's going to happen. And even to a point, on our mainstream TV shows, I wouldn't have seen him on that either. So sometimes a particular artist that might be well known over in the USA, for example, and everyone over there knows who it is, when I then see it and think, I can't believe how I haven't seen this artist before, it's because I haven't seen it. It's not something that has made its way over to the UK, but also it's not an artist that has been requested in the last, 8 to 10 years on my channel. So a lot of the bands and artists that I am checking out are through requests. And because of the amount of requests that I get and the amount of time that I spend doing what I do, I don't have time to kind of go away and check out other things that are a little bit more random. I'm only ever looking through things that I'm sent. So if I'm not sent something, there's no way that I can see it, because I then don't have the time to go away and kind of look at it. And this is another thing that I did a video on a band called Bandmade, and I was pointing out that the vocals were tuned in that particular analysis video. And a lot of Bandmade fans got in touch and said, it's common knowledge amongst the fans that every performance of theirs is tuned after the show when they then release it. So in my analysis video, I was pointing out that it was tuned, what we were listening to. And this particular person said, you should do a follow-up video to say that they aren't using auto-tune live, but that every single performance is post-edited and tuned. So I said, I will do a follow-up video to make that clear, that they do perform live, but then everything that you hear from a live performance is tuned. Now, I'll probably mention in that follow-up video, the problem with doing that is that everyone will think that there's a reason for you tuning everything that you're doing, but then they'll have to go to a show to hear, it's not actually tuned when you hear it live, but every single live performance that you will see is tuned. So yeah, I think it's the first band that I've ever seen that do that. And the only way that you'd ever be able to do that anyway is by doing everything in-house, because you might play on a show that don't tune vocals, and that'll be released on, you know, the internet or on their YouTube channel, and that'll be a performance that isn't tuned. But I think Bandmade, they do just treat everything in-house. And when I say treat, I mean tune. So it means that they never do anything that can be released in its original form. It's always going to be something that's going to be post-edited. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting to the point here that this person said, actually today, why haven't you honoured your promise to do a follow-up video? Instead, you're just doing this or you're doing that. And I did answer the person, this is turning into a bit of a troll corner. I answered the person saying that doing a follow-up video, I can't instantly do it. I need to get all of the performances that I'm going to look at and compare. I need to get all of the data from that. I need to run it through pitch monitoring software. I need to be able to present to people that this is what the sound is live by taking crowd shot footage, because everything else is edited. So I can't take any official footage of any show because it's tuned. I've got to go through crowd shot footage and take different parts of that and show what they are doing live. Now the other thing is that when I start to do that, I do start to spot things in the live performance to see what happens when they do perform live. So the fact that people say, oh, when they do play live, it is absolutely, yeah, fully live and nothing's tuned. But I will be pointing out in the follow-up video exactly what's going on with each performance, and yeah, what is live and what might not be live, just so that, yeah, everybody knows. And yeah, just point out that it is a common thing that the fan base know that everything that they're going to be watching online that is a live show is going to be the live show but edited, so we're not actually hearing the vocal that happened on the night. So yeah, but I will do that follow-up video, and when I say that I'm going to do a follow-up video, I will do one, but it's not like a reaction video or something like that where I just load up a video and just look at it and then just say stuff or just say that it's great. I have to get all the data together, and yeah, it takes a very long time to do all of that, but it is something that I will do in the future. So anyway, right, that is, I think, now up to date in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for those donations. And the let me just pop into the super chat window because Veronica's donated 15. I can't remember the name of this because it's not. I know at every single live stream I always forget what the name of this particular currency is. So it's because I have nothing to relate it to, because it's not a word, an English word, or like, dollars or sterling or Argentinian pesos. That's another one that I've kind of heard of, and there used to be a donation that would come through that had that Norwegian krona as well. But yeah, I think the currency is of Israel, I do believe, but I can't remember what it is. Rose says shekel, so maybe it's that. Anyway, Karen donated, but thank you for that. Veronica on the messages, Phil, I think my message wasn't sent. I swear I didn't hack your computer. Okay, so thank you for that. Karen donated $5 as well, and says, Phil, I've transposed songs to lower keys when I have a cold and or sore throat, when possible. Would you recommend this? I need to scroll across. Healing wishes your way, Karen. So, Angela says, right, shekel. So, again, shekel is just a word. It's not even a word. It's just a sound. So I'm trying to think of a way that I can remember it. Somebody can maybe give me something in the live chat room for a way to remember shekel. Because, yeah, it's something that obviously isn't sticking in my mind. Anyway, getting back to the point that Karen just said about transposing songs or transposing songs into different keys. You can do that, but I think generally when you're playing in a band and you might be touring, you play your songs in the key that you've learnt them in. And some musicians, or you'd like to think that most musicians, would be able to transpose what you're playing, just take it up or down as they see fit, but it's not always the case. You might have some musicians that can't kind of roll with that one particular night and are very set in the way that they play something. So it has to be the same every time. So I don't think it's something that realistically you would be able to do on the fly in a show as part of your set. More likely you would swap out a particular song for another song, such as I mentioned earlier with Taj. So Ninja Kitty says heckle Wings of Pegasus. But then I would remember heckle, and I'd have to remember that the word is shekel. So heckle isn't the word. I just have to try and remember the S at the beginning of heckle. It might work, it might not. I'll give it a go and see what happens in the future. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for the donations. I think what I'm going to do is maybe jump into tonight's cover video, which is going to be Just Got Lucky by the looks of it. Karen says, how about freckle? That's too far away from the original word, because then I'll remember freckle and won't know what I'm supposed to be trying to remember. So I'll try to store heckle in my head and remember that it's shekel. And even then, is it shekel? See, even then now, this is the problem, that I'm questioning whether it was shekel from the word heckle, because this is always going to be the problem. If it doesn't register as a word in my head, I'm then going to second guess it and think whether I've got it right or not. We will. Gabe says shrekel, and maybe I'm thinking, is it shekel? It can't be shrekel, because then I would use Shrek as an idea to remember that it's. But then again, heckle, shrekel, shekel. Is it? Yeah, I think it's shekel. And I did think of Shekel and Hyde, but then I'd be thinking of course, Jekyll and Hyde. It's just remembering that first part. I'll be able to do it, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future. But we are going to be jumping into this, my cover of the Dokken classic, Just Got Lucky, which is the opposite of tonight's live stream. We haven't been lucky at all with the equipment. I might try and grab the guitar while this is playing and quickly tune it up if it needs any tuning, in order to maybe demonstrate trills. I think that's what we were going to be doing earlier. I've done string skipping before. I demonstrated that a few live streams ago, I believe, relatively recently. So yeah, I'll show you a trill, which is a very simple thing to do. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you after. Rock! Just Got Lucky by Dokken. Let's do this. Rock! And there we have it. That was my version of the Dokken classic, Just Got Lucky. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So, as you might be able to tell, I have the guitar out. And it's hopefully going to be something that you can hear. I've just quickly tuned it up, and it was indeed out of tune. That sometimes happens with some days being warmer and then being cooler. So as for hearing what it is a trill, if I'm doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, I don't know whether you can hear this or not. I'm playing the open string, hammering on, pulling off, and I'm playing these two notes over and over again, which is something that you can do it up here as well. That quick trill is kind of hammering on and pulling off, and you'll hear it typically with riffs. Again, not really something that is going to be done on acoustic guitar, but it might be. Like that. So, and that was just, I'm going to skip this advert, hitting that low E string, and then hammering on and pulling off. And you want to try and get that hammer on and pull off so that you can hear it relatively clearly, so that with acoustic guitar you've always got nowhere to hide, but you want to make sure that it's relatively clear so that your technique is as good as it can be. So Right. Let's do some string skipping. So if I'm playing like that, I don't know if you can hear this again. What I'm doing there is I'm skipping over the A string, and I was playing open E and hammering on to 5 and 7, the A and the B. And then I played the open D string, so I've skipped over the A string there and just done exactly the same thing. Like that, which is again 5 and 7, the G to the A. So, because what you would do, if you weren't string skipping, jumping over the strings or missing out the A string there, you might you'd do that, where I'm hitting the A string as well, like that. But I mean, what I'm doing here is just kind of showing you maybe something that you can use. A string skip that you could use in a particular riff if you wanted to in the key of E. But string skipping, it's just, you can use it in lots of different ways. It just means skipping over the next string. And yeah, I did another example, and you can check that out. I don't know how many live streams ago it was, maybe 2 or 3 on the electric guitar, where I would say it's generally more something that you'll see in more technical solos with an electric guitar with a little bit of distortion on there and maybe some tapping in there as well. So anyway, yeah, and it just takes a little bit of practice, and you can jump from different strings and just kind of work at it. I always try, if possible, to, if there's a particular technique that I'm working on, and let me just assume that for whatever reason there's something that I want to work on that is subconscious muscle memory, which this will probably fall into that category, because there's no way that what I was playing there you're going to be singing that in your head. It's just something that you think, oh, it kind of sounds cool and might be something that you want to work at, and you might want to throw together other lines that, say for example you want to, and you want to jump over now. So I'm jumping over the G there, and then coming back to the G. Like that. And you can start to, I don't know, maybe blend it into, I don't know how much of this you can hear. I'm kind of picking quite hard just so that you can hear it a little bit more clearly. I don't think you'll necessarily be picking as aggressively as I am, kind of. I'm just doing it for the clarity of the microphone because I'm not plugged in. So that's pretty much it. But again, like I said when I was demonstrating it before, it's not something that I personally use because I don't sing lines in my head that require me to suddenly jump over a string. The next note, if I'm going up, will more often than not be on the next string, because that's kind of what I'm singing in my head. And but it doesn't mean that you can't work on these kinds of things if you just want to play particular passages and just rely on that subconscious muscle memory for a little while. Then that's all fine. So that was that, and getting out the acoustic guitar, which we haven't done in quite a while. And in terms of playing over the top of a backing track, the problem is we'll have exactly the same problem here. Like, say for example, I could hear a backing track and I loaded it up on the computer and started listening to it. I'd have to do it on the computer so that you could hear it, but then you would be able to hear it, and then I would be able to hear it, but then what I'm playing will still be in front of the backing track. It's just a really weird issue that we've got. So it still works. Everything going through here, and I tested this earlier, that going through the ID4 interface, I was just clapping along to the beat of a backing track, and my claps were coming in early. So we've got this synchronization issue that means that, yeah, I can't play with the top of a backing track without being ahead of the beat, which just makes it sound, yeah, really dodgy. Because I'll be going into, you know, another guitar line, and the backing track wouldn't have got to that point yet. So it's always a bit jarring when that happens. So yeah, a bit of a shame, but I'm going to have to try and... I mean, that's now a secondary issue, because when that was the case, we then rolled back to just using the laptop, which is what I was going to do tonight. But now, the interface that we need to work for the laptop to work for you to hear my guitar, that's now not working. So we've kind of taken 2 steps back now. The first step back was that things were not synchronized with my Mac. So then we found a solution. But now the 2 steps back is that the solution now doesn't work anymore because of an Apple update that has now rendered my interface, my Scarlett interface, useless. So yeah, a bit of a shame. Oh, Melody Rock says, so what was the point of all that rewiring? So that when everything did work and should work, the rewiring is nothing to do with Apple or them releasing an update that is incompatible with a particular piece of hardware that loads of people have in their studios and their home studio setups. Like I said, I've searched on the internet, and loads of people have now suddenly got a problem where their interface isn't working. And it's nothing to do with rewiring everything. The rewiring was so that everything's organized so that if there is a problem, like, oh, well, this particular interface isn't plugged in, but where is the wire going? How do I get to the end of it? Which part of the USB extension cable is it plugged into? All of that stuff of climbing under the desk and trying to follow leads and doing that. That's why you generally rewire. It is to keep everything organized, because after years, what happens is you'll plug something in, then you'll plug another thing in, and those two things are now a little bit twisted with the wires, but everything's working and it's fine. And then you put something else in, and then you'll have to take something else out and put it in another USB slot because one might not be working, or something might disconnect, so then you put in something else. And every time you put something else in and take it out, the wires are, even while you sleep, they're tangling themselves up so that you can't tell which wire is which wire and where it's going, because they're all black and they're all a very similar thickness. So I do label the ends of these leads, but just having it organized so that you can pull out one and then it comes out cleanly, and then you can put in something else. And especially when you're talking about multiple external hard drives, it then gets even messier. But the problem is nothing to do with that. This problem is a new problem that I would have had previously, regardless of how tidy your wires are. If an update gets released and it now makes a piece of hardware incompatible, or the drivers don't work well, or it just doesn't recognize it, then that's a problem that you have to wait for the hardware manufacturers to come up with a new driver that you can install so that it works as it did previously. So yeah, it's great to be really organized, but there's nothing that I can do about an update totally wrecking the system. And yeah, it's just going to be a case of troubleshooting, and hopefully they might release something knowing that this is an issue, because Focusrite are one of those companies that are the go-to for many independent musicians and even professional studios. So it's a bit of an issue that it suddenly now doesn't work with Mac-based systems, operating systems. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. And I can see that we are at 13 minutes past midnight here, so we're probably going to have to call things to a close. We did make it quite far into the live stream, even though we didn't start on time because of all of the problems. So I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night. As for what's going to be happening on later in the week, obviously I'm out on Sunday, but I might do something and then release it on Sunday anyway because of the algorithm. But yeah, I'll be at the garage with Taj Farrant this Sunday, so if you can make it, that would be great. Go to tajfarrant.com/shows. And as for figuring out how to fix this for Saturday night's live stream, I'll have to see what I can do, because the annoying thing is that I'm on the go all the time. So just having, 3, 4, 5 hours to try and sort something out that you might not even end up sorting out after all of that time is a bit of a pain, but I'm going to have to try and do it. I'm actually thinking now whether the worst case scenario could be that even though I'm in the studio now, I set up the live stream how I set it up in the other room, so that I'm just now I could use the camera again on here, but use my laptop to do everything as I was doing it, use the little effects thing and the ID4 going into this. It means I'd have to unplug everything again and do it how I was doing it in the other room, but now in this room, which would be crazy. Like I said, is ironic, but that might be what we just have to do until I can figure out a solution for this problem that it isn't caused by myself, but as always by updates. Something always goes wrong when they're supposed to be improving the system. Anyway, so thank you guys for tuning in. I think we are up to date with everything. And I'll be here with a video tomorrow night, so check out that one if you can do. That's where I will be. And another video on Friday, maybe, depending on how all of this stuff goes, trying to figure it all out and get it working again. And on Sunday I'll be playing, and I'll try and get either video or some shots, some pictures from the show on Sunday, so that I can share it on maybe the live stream on Tuesday, if I can get everything working. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and as I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and I will catch you guys at tomorrow night's video. Rock!